And that's how I found out that mustard cannot double as lube.
Fair enough.
Hello and welcome to the Phil Shy podcast. I'm Peter Bell and with me as always the nice man in comedy, Paddy Linton.
Hello.
So how you been, Paddy?
No good, mate. I rolled my ankle eating chips and cheese last week.
It's a proper sporting injury, that.
Mate, this was 10 days ago because we missed last week. This was 10 days ago and it still can't put all my weight on it. Like,
you're getting to that age now, Paddy.
It was Halloween as well and I was dressed as Jesus. So that must have been a sight for somebody. Just me on Suckhill Street, absolutely steaming, eating chips, cheese and doner. Taking half a cup.
This is not what I thought it'd be like when he came back.
Yep, I did look at it for a good 10 seconds before walking away from it as well when it was lying on the deck. Just thinking about scooping it up.
What
God kissed it, devil missed it.
So it's doner, so it was
chicken doner.
Chicken doner, so Jesus could eat that then, aye.
Did
that play into your thinking at all? You're like, I can't get fucking...
Yeah, aye, the guy behind the counter was just like, fuck's happening here. Anyway, how's your week been?
Aye, good man. I went down to Poynton to do a wee gig.
Is that like Butlins?
No, not Pontins. So it's like near Stockport.
Oh.
But it's one of those like commuter towns that's quite fancy. Big St Albans vibes about it. I was down there. I didn't know if it was posh or not before I got there, so I looked up on TripAdvisor. The highest rated attraction in Poynton is a garden centre.
Oh, is it?
I asked the audience to guess what the highest rated thing in their town's TripAdvisor was, and they said Waitrose. I was like, you're fucking... you like this? You summed it up already. I don't even think about it.
Garden centre.
Aye, man. No, but it was good fun. Really good gig. Rich Wilson, he closed it out. Recommend him. He's very, very funny. Right, let's get to it.
Let's get cracking.
Since it's the 11th of November, Armistice Day, I thought I would do some research, try and find out about some footballers that served during World War One, World War Two, and I found something that's like, I can't believe I hadn't heard of it before. Have you ever heard of the Football Battalion?
Nah.
So the Footballers Battalion was set up during World War One because football clubs were dead keen to keep their players out of conscription.
Aye.
And they used the excuse of, it keeps morale up.
The football, aye.
Aye. But, I mean, it doesn't really...
But it's also some of our fittest guys.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't really, because 90% of the people that watch football at that point in time, in particular, were away in the front line. And how are they watching the game? Who was it fucking for,
I don't think you had, like, TNT Sports on your phone back then.
No. It would only be people in the stadium or... Was it
reading the newspaper?
Would most people have radio back then? Probably not. So, like, who was it for? Like, it would be pointless to do it, but they managed to get that. That was generally a thing, but a bunch of footballers got together and were like, we don't think this is fair. We think we should be going over and serving as well. Well, some of them did anyway. So, a couple of the politicians set up the Footballers Battalion, which was a PALS battalion. It's very long, but it's genuinely interesting. So PALS battalion is basically if you've got a group of people you know and you all want to join up together, they'll put you in the one battalion.
Oh, decent.
So that you can like serve alongside people you know and all that kind of stuff.
So you can lose your loved ones.
Yeah,
first
hand.
Yeah,
exactly. Rather than hear about it, it's a bit shite. So they set up this Footballers Battalion. I think 30 people signed up straight away, including an England international. I'll try and find his name. Yeah, Frank Buckley. He'd become a major and he got lung and shoulder wounds at the Battle of the Somme. It was officially formed in January 1915. By March, they had 122 people, footballers that had joined up with it. By the end of the war, they'd lost over 1,000 men, 462 in the one battle.
How's that fair? No, like, how's that fair? Now on Christmas Day, where they like had a wee ceasefire, and they were like, "Let's get a wee game of football, lads," and they've got like fucking the Leeds United back four playing.
So, do you think Germany weren't sending any professional footballers as well?
Yeah, true.
In fact, no, they didn't have a professional league at that point in time.
So they just get scalped.
Well, I wouldn't imagine. So I reckon they'd still win on penalties. But 462 of them died in the one battle, which is just mad. One of the guys was Walter Tull, who, according to the Evening Times in 1940, became the first ethnic minority infantry officer in the British Army. I've tidied up the language they used, which was
nice. Good.
Which is significantly less. It was more morally objectionable, put it that way. He would then go on to play for Rangers, spoiling an otherwise incredible legacy. So it's a shame. That is a shame.
Of course he did.
There was a memorial built to the Football Battalion in France in 2010. It's not a funny story, but I genuinely thought that was quite interesting and apt because I'd never heard of that before.
I had never heard of that.
No,
So they all volunteered. Fair play to them.
Yeah, and like I like history and I like football, so you'd think it'd be the one thing that I'd have heard of that, but completely not. So well played, lads.
Well played. Good game.
Good game. It's a fair point, though. Imagine that was the exact battalion that brought the ball. Also,
I know. I bet you it was. Still like, I've got an idea. Just happened to have a football.
It was London Irish. It was the London Irish regiment that brought the ball.
You would know that.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they shouted play up London Irish and kick the ball across the no man's land, even before they had that arms like where they played each other. And speaking of things from the past, Ian Holloway.
Ian Holloway. Aye, are we moving on to Ian Holloway?
Aye, because I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was an interesting story, but
I managed to get through that without saying up the Rawansa.
Well, there was a lot of Irish volunteers that came over and served with Britain during World War II in particular, so fair play. Well played,
fair play. So we've got Ian Holloway quotes.
Yes, so
a blast for the past.
It came up on like somewhere on social media, and it was just a list, and it was like Ian Holloway is a goat of interviews, and I've honestly some of them are fucking amazing, right? So these are all genuine Ian Holloway quotes from interviews he's done with BBC and Sky and all that kind of stuff. If I fell into a barrel of boobs, I'd come out sucking my thumb.
Decent.
It's good at it.
A barrel of boobs is quite an image, by the way.
I know, it's quite haunting.
Big barrel of boobs.
I don't see the problem with footballers taking their shirts off after scoring a goal. They enjoy it, and the young ladies enjoy it too. I suppose that's one of the main reasons women come to football.
Oh my goodness.
To see young men take their shirts off. Of course, they'd have to go and watch another game because my lads are ugly as sin.
Is that when he had Charlie Adam?
It was Blackpool.
Poor Charlie, man.
I love Blackpool. We're very similar. We both look better in the dark.
It's true.
I watched Arsenal in the Champions League the other week, playing some of the best football I've ever seen, yet they couldn't have scored in a brothel with $2,000 in their pockets.
Specific number there, Ian.
That is very specific. I couldn't be more chuffed if I were a Badger at the start of mating season, which is very strange.
Again, too niche, mate. You know a wee bit too much here.
He's very, very sex driven, this, you know.
Yeah, he's a sexy man.
You can never count your chickens before they hatch. I used to keep parakeets, and I never counted every egg thinking I would get all 8 birds. You just hope they came out at the nest box looking all right. I'm like a swan at the moment. I look fine on top of the water, but under the water, my little legs are going mad. I don't know how that's related to the rest.
I wonder what they were talking about.
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
Because these are all out of context. You can say that strikers are very much like postmen. You have to get in and out as quick as they can before the dog starts to have a go.
Because he's sex-driven stuff, I'm like, does he mean delivering the letters?
Yeah, I know. He's going to be what? Oh, for God's sake. Sir David Beckham, you're having a laugh. He's just a good footballer with a famous bird. I'm more than happy at Blackpool, and I'm afraid the chairman will need a hell of a tub of cream to get rid of me. I'm like a bad rash and not easily curable. I don't know.
What is this guy on?
Oh, mate, it's fucking great. I'll see if I can find any other, like, see if there's any other belters. I feel like a steaming cowpat or a car that's clocked up 400,000 miles in one journey. That's quite good.
That's some journey, by the way.
And this one's... Apparently it's my fault the Titanic sank. I don't understand the context. Oh.
It is your fault. Because you drove your car 400,000 miles. When they have icebergs floating off the Arctic Circle, what's the for you?
Ronaldo's 6 foot something, fit as a flea and good. I've loved the phrase.
Fit as a flea.
So fucking old, man. Ronaldo's 6 foot something, fit as a flea, good looking. He's got to have something wrong with him. Hopefully he's hung like a hamster. That would make us all feel better. Oh, this one is like, again, don't condone what you're saying in this one.
All right, here we go. This will be good then.
We didn't play great, but got a result. To put it in gentlemen's terms, if you've been out for a night and you're looking for a young lady and you pull one, you've done what you set out to do. We didn't look our best today, but we've pulled. Some weeks the lady is good looking, some weeks they're not. Our performance today would not have been the best looking bird, but at least we got her in the taxi. She may not have been the best looking lady, but we ended up taking home. But it was still very pleasant and very nice. So thanks very much, and let's have a coffee.
That is wild, man. This wasn't the 80s either. This is like 15 years ago.
Yeah, so Blackpool in the Premier League would have been, what, 2010-ish? Sort of that sort of era. So yeah, not long ago, enough ago to be talking like that. Like fit as a flea.
Fit as a flea, hung like a hamster.
So yeah, just a wee tribute to Ian Holloway, because there wasn't much else going on in the news. Oh, in fact, there was one other thing in the news where, you know, Ireland and England fans both got, the FAs both got fined because their fans were booing the national anthem.
Oh, really?
Yeah, why are you fining the FA for that?
Aye, it's not your fault.
Aye, and also booing the national anthem.
It's kind of like standard fine. These days, isn't it?
It's fine. Yeah, there's no problem with that whatsoever. I just think that's mad. Although the way some English social media sites shared it, for example, Unbelievable Jeff, they said that the Irish FA had been fined for Irish fans booing the England national anthem, and said stuff like, "Oh, justice," leaving out that England also got fined, and were actually fined more money because they have multiple offences.
Aye.
So there you go, Unbelievable Jeff. Also, since we talked about like the footballer soldiers that fought in World War I and World War II, I would like to say all of those guys and every other fucking soldier that's ever fought wouldn't give a shit if James McLean wears a poppy or not, so leave the cunt alone, please. Thank you very much. Anyway, it's time for Pedro's quiz thing.
Oh, Pedro's quiz thing.
Yeah, so
cue music.
This one is going to be quite tricky.
I struggled with Yak last time.
Yeah. So this guy's got a hell of a list of clubs.
Oh, here we go.
But big clubs. So in theory you should get it, but also like whether the clues will lead you to that.
Right, so I'm already thinking journeyman.
I was born on the 10th of March 1985. Unless you know his birthday, that's a pointless clue. I started my professional career at Le Havre before making the move to then Premier League champions Chelsea in 2005.
Florent Malouda.
No.
Oh,
Chelsea retained the league in my first season at the club, but I did not play enough to get a medal.
Solomon Kalou.
No. I mean, you're in the
ballpark.
You're in the ballpark, yeah. I left Chelsea on transfer deadline day 2007 to join London rivals Arsenal, where I took the number 8 shirt from the departing Freddie Ljungberg.
Oh. Midfielder then?
I'm not giving you any more clues, mate. I'm going to give you the rest of the clues. But
my next one was going to be Gallas.
No, it's not Gallas. No. I won 2 FA Cups during my time in England, the second of which was with Harry Redknapp and Portsmouth.
Oh, fuck Portsmouth, man. They had everybody.
During my time at Real Madrid, I was known by the commentators as Todo Campista or the Jack of all trades.
No, it's not Diarra, because Diarra went the other way, didn't he? Is it?
It's Lassana Diarra.
Yes! Come on!
The other clue is going to be many people incorrectly thought Mali midfielder Mahamadou was my brother. Yeah. He's in fact no relation. And in my career, I played for the aforementioned Chelsea, Arsenal, Real Madrid, also PSG, Lokomotiv Moscow and Marseille, which would lead people to think I was much better than I was. Yes, Lassana Diarra was the correct answer. Well done.
Aye.
A lot better than Yakubu, but I basically had to say my name is Yakubu.
Yeah, my name is Yakubu. I'm sitting there like Adam Johnson.
Why did you bring him up? Why was he the name you went?
I meant to say Andy Johnson, and I said Adam Johnson just because.
Oh, nonsense on the brain.
Aye, just because I'm a Newcastle fan, and
it's typical or something, isn't it? Yeah.
Aye.
It's not typical.
He's a beast.
So the game for the weekend, Chelsea Arsenal. Yep. Christ, it's good to have Odegaard back.
Aye.
Obviously it didn't help them win, but like the build-up play, the press and all that kind of stuff that he provided. I mean, he was first for winning possession back in the final third for key passes. He obviously got an assist, so it does show the contribution that having him in there
Aye.
it really makes to Arsenal. Didn't look like it from the start though, because Chelsea looked good in the opening few minutes of the game. They looked like they were the much better team.
Cole Palmer's the best player in the league. He really is, man. He is. He's so good. So good at everything, though.
Can he tackle? Can
he? He wins the ball, though.
Aye. Just because he's standing in the wrong place, daydreaming.
I know. Aye.
Mate. It's still Rodri for me, but Palmer is brilliant. Neto and Palmer in particular were both really good at the start of this game. Me Gusto, he had an opportunity to score. Malo Gusto.
Mate. So I was at work watching this and thingy. My pals knocked me off his Sky Sports, and fair play to him. Like I've had it for like 18 months, but he's knocked me off his Sky Sports, so I had to go into a streaming website to watch it, and
a legal one, we should add.
A legal streaming website, perfectly legal, and they had Michael Owen as the pundit. So I think it was like some American street, or like something that would be shown in America, filmed here. And oh my god, man,
it's torture.
He was just like, when he was talking about that Gusto chance, he was like, "Oh, it's just a lack of desire to score." And I'm like, pretty sure he wanted. I'm pretty sure he wanted to score. And he's like, "Oh, it's just a lack of desire to score." He's like, he's talking about he would have scored it, and you're like,
"Aye, because
you scored fucking 2 headers in your whole career."
Aye, but he's a Ballon d'Or winning striker as opposed to a right back.
Aye, because you can launch an apple into a bin for across the room.
But he had the bravery to do that.
Absolute melt.
If you go back on to what it would have been one of our very earliest pods, it would have been the first 5
Michael
episodes.
Owen's daftest quotes.
Yeah, and some of them are absolute
moron,
gold, man. He's genuine vitriol.
Yeah,
it's not even like, oh, he's just an idiot. You have to actually hate.
He is a moron, though.
He is. He's very thick. But yeah, no, obviously he had that opportunity. Let's say Neto and Palmer looked dangerous. Palmer had a good shot early on. I think that Raya saves it. But then Arsenal did start to press a bit, and that's when things changed a little bit. Saka and Martinelli both had some chances, but just didn't quite put them away. Chelsea were once again doing that high line thing, and they always have someone just behind the rest of the defence.
Yeah,
which gets them caught out all the time. It happened a couple of weeks ago with Reece James. But in this one, they just got away with it with Havertz, with that goal that was ruled out, because there was centimetres in that. Like, that was so close.
I think that was them just switching off at a free kick, though.
Yeah.
In the high line.
Yeah, possibly. But it continuously happens to them. And it's something they definitely need to work on. Obviously, they're doing well. They're having a pretty good season. But they do need to try and fix that.
Mate, do you know they've got 7 keepers on their books?
Yeah, I told you that like 3 weeks
Did
ago.
you? I don't know. It just popped into my mind when I was watching, because I'm like, I was watching Sanchez and know how he's a bit abysmal with the ball.
He's shite, aye.
And I was like, surely he can't be the best out of the 7 keepers. Like, what is happening there?
Well, I'm sure is Muric the guy at Ipswich. He's not out on loan from there.
And so is Kepa.
Aye, Kepa at Bournemouth.
Any Premier League goalie is a Chelsea keeper.
It is mad that he's the best that they've got, but apparently he is. Fofana had a acrobatic high boot chance.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been a miracle goal if he managed to put that in, but didn't quite pull it off. And then Martinelli, amazingly, managed to actually score a goal, which the keeper definitely should have saved.
Yep.
But
again,
it's great play from Odegaard in the build up to it. So he triggers the press, wins the ball, gets the play started, and then gets the ball back and crosses it in. It's a brilliant cross, but again, it's that defensive line. They're all looking at the ball. No idea where anyone is.
It's 2 free at the back post.
Yeah. And then Saka is basically unmarked in the middle because they think they've caught them offside when they haven't. So even if he goes to head it back across the goal, they're probably scoring there. But he did score. Keeper made it fucking easy for him. You shouldn't be caught off your post like that.
No, for that angle.
No, it's something you should.
He's probably expecting him to square it, mind you.
Yeah, possibly, but at the same time, I don't think that's an excuse. You've got to cover your post first, and then if he does square it, it's your defence's fault. But you as a goalkeeper need to keep the goal. It's the closing the fucking name, I suppose. It didn't last long. Only 10 minutes. Arsenal were in front. Arsenal didn't really give away many clear-cut chances. Chelsea had more of the ball and more of it further forward, but they couldn't really break through Arsenal's defence very well. And so Neto just decided, oh well, fuck it, I'll scalp it from outside. It was brilliant.
Aye.
The power, the curve, just to put it just out of reach of David Raya.
Plus, because players don't shoot for outside the box anyway, keepers aren't expecting it.
Yeah, and it feels a bit more. It feels a bit more special when you see one nowadays because it doesn't happen as often. But I mean, I really like Neto. I really liked him at Wolves. I thought he was a brilliant player.
He was turning White inside out before for the Gusto chance. Like where he was just turning him inside out for ages.
I didn't realise when you first said that. Right. You meant the footballer.
Oh, right.
When you said he was turning white inside out, I was like, I know he's Portuguese.
He was turning the colour white inside out.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, he is white, but I suppose he's technically Mediterranean. But
why would I go down that route?
I don't know. That's why I was confused. Yeah, he did. He absolutely gubbed him a couple of times there. He's just a very good player, and he's always had a lot of potential. He's always he was really important for Wolves the past couple of seasons. The problem is he was injured a lot, so it'll be interesting to see if at Chelsea under Maresca he can properly develop into the player that everybody thinks he's got it in him to be. But he certainly looks like a very promising talent. Obviously, he's 24, 25 now?
Aye.
So he's still improving, but he's a really good player.
Quality.
It's a shame he's at Chelsea, really.
With the rest of them.
For the rest of those sort of white people. Arsenal had some golden opportunities to make it 2-1.
Trossard, mate.
Marino as well, with that ball in. Trossard. If he doesn't touch that, Havertz is putting that in.
I wasn't even talking about that when I was talking about the one that would have probably been offside, but he skies it.
Yeah. I mean, they did give that as offside, I think.
Usually reliable.
I know, so we can't really be too angry at him. And it's the same with the one where Havertz definitely would have put it away. The minute goals Trossard scores, of course he's well within his right to try and reach that and put it in. I mean, I don't think there's any winger or player that wouldn't have done that.
Aye.
That wouldn't have taken that chance. So,
would you happy with a point?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's not a brilliant result for either team.
No, it's a brilliant result for Liverpool.
Yeah, it's not a brilliant result for either Arsenal or Chelsea. But Chelsea with a new manager against a team that was second the past 2 years are probably thinking, yeah, it's not the result we wanted, but that's not a bad result.
Aye.
And Arsenal will be thinking, yeah, it's not the result we wanted. Yeah, but they were against a good team away in their stadium. We're equal on points with them. Again, it's not a bad result if you look at it in isolation. But will Liverpool now be 9 points ahead of them both? Will Liverpool keep it up for the whole season? I don't know. But Paul Merson said something interesting. He said basically if it goes to 12 points, it's done. If they get it back to 6, it's game on.
Aye.
So that's just the way Arsenal need to look at it. And having Odegaard back should make a significant difference if they keep all 11 players on the pitch from now on. That would be really helpful.
I think you need to sign a striker in January. You need a 20 goals a season striker. You won't win the league without one. Or even a 20 goals a season player.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to become... Because I thought Havertz was the answer, but he's clearly no.
No, I mean, Havertz is good, and his goal-scoring record this season is really, really good. But what we need is, it's like you say, it's a 20-goal-a-season player, whether that's a striker or whether that's a winger who can replace Martinelli and bang in that many goals. Because obviously, like you get people like Salah and Mane that did it for fucking years.
Yep.
My concern with Arsenal is I don't think this is anything to worry about, because if you're going to have a blip, this is the right time to do it. Because you've got so much time left to make it up. It's so early in the season. I think the same about what Man City are going through as well at the moment. This is the right time to have a blip. But it concerns me that they look worse than they were last season. Which isn't good. Especially, well, I suppose they have had a lot of injuries and players missing, which will impact you. Like, if they get the full squad available for the next 5-6 games, they could easily win all of them. Like, they started the season in that kind of form as well, so who knows. But I mean, Calafiori, having him back, because he made a big difference, that would be nice. Odegaard will make a huge difference in there. Although it is slightly worrying they don't have an attacking midfielder who can replace him. I know City don't have a like-for-like for De Bruyne, but they have someone that can come in and do that job.
They've got Kovacic.
So it'd be nice to have a couple of better bench.
Aye,
But that's the thing. City have always had a better squad depth than Arsenal, and it looks like Liverpool have it as well now. But there's a couple of players coming through, like I'm gonna butcher his.
Go for it.
Nwaneri. Yeah, something like that. Ethan, big Ethan.
Big Ethan.
He looks really good. Lewis Skelly, not Lewis Kelly. Have to make that abundantly clear. He looks quite promising as well. There's a couple other players that are coming through, so maybe
you should need to offload someday though in January.
Yeah, I would.
Probably Zinchenko or something.
I don't.
Doesn't even really get any game time.
No,
these days,
no.
He's fit now. He's always on the bench.
Yeah, Zinchenko wouldn't be a bad idea to try and move on. I don't know that he'll do it, but I genuinely think maybe cut your losses in Martinelli because you bought him for $6 million.
Yeah,
you could easily
probably get 30 million for him. Easy.
You'd get more than that because he's only 21.
Brazilian international and all that pattern.
And he'd be the kind of player. See if you said to someone like Real Madrid or something like that, he's available. Because of his age and the way he plays, they'd be like, oh, we can turn him into something. He'll definitely work here. It's just in the Premier League, it just doesn't seem to work for him, unfortunately, when he's in front of goal. I still think he's a really, really good player. I don't want to write him off or anything, but I think at a certain point, if you're going to try and compete for the league, you need to go, right, okay, if we can sell him for 50 and that frees up 60 or 70 for us to buy someone, then I think you've got to take that.
As long as it's no Isak, that's all right.
Can't promise that, I'm afraid. For Chelsea, they're level in points, obviously, with Arsenal, both on 19 in the top 4. Is there anything else? They're doing way better.
They're fine, I think Maresca's settled him so much. He knows his best 11 and he just keeps playing it.
Yeah.
Like, he's not been rotating too much, apart from like Europa League when they won 8-0 against fucking Mordor.
Yeah. No, it was against a cunt called Noah.
Just one guy.
Just Noah.
But like, he doesn't seem to rotate too much in the Premier League. He brings in Nkunku off the bench. He's got some quality players.
Nkunku is so wild that he's a bench player, man.
And it.
The only other thing I'd have to say about this, because I watched I caught up on this in Match of the Day 2, is Match of the Day 2 really get the B-list pundits in, don't they? Troy Deeney and Theo Walcott. What a mediocre partnership that would be, both on and off the pitch.
Troy Deeney, man. His eyes are so far apart.
I know, you
can see stuff behind them.
I genuinely googled was he in a car accident or something like that, because his skull looks like it's been reconstructed, man. He was on Celebrity Mastermind once. That's something.
No wonder he's got a big brain. It's actually a dome.
Do you know what his specialist subject was?
Kit Kats.
No, it's a series of films.
The Mission Impossible films.
No, it was Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
The Sam Raimi Spider-Man verse.
So he's now Dean's favourite footballer, presumably.
Yeah.
Troy Deeney, see?
Oh, nice.
He finished 3rd out of 4. So no, wasn't good for him.
He finished 3rd out of 4.
I'd say also
he also finished 2nd last.
He was also arrested for battering a group of students in 2012. So Dean, you might want to rethink him being your favourite footballer, man.
Is it? Have you got any context in it?
No, the words used in this article was defenceless students.
Defenceless students, just absolutely swinging about a bunch of EIT students.
Yeah, so he was arrested for affray, I think the charge is. And I think he served like 3 months of his sentence and then it was suspended or whatever it is. I don't know.
Football player minted.
So just rethink your role models, Dean. You fucking love me, apparently.
Who was the other one? Troy Deeney.
Oh no, it was just his pal. Like, he's no famous. He's not.
No, the other pundit.
Oh right, Theo Walcott.
Aye. Grim.
No. Poor Theo. Grim. Brighton versus City.
Brighton. And Hove Albion, friends of football.
Yeah, they are friends of football. What is going on with Man City, man?
Their back four's fucked, right?
But you say that, right?
They had like 4 fullbacks playing their back 4.
Well,
and had Akanji and Ake on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. So you say that. So in the team that they started on Saturday, there was only one player in that isn't a first team quality footballer. That was Snowball 2.
Yeah. Snowball 2.
Simpson pussy.
Oh, that's very good. It's very good.
I was going to go Marge, but I thought, no, that's a bit inappropriate.
No, that's no, after the Holloway quote, you'd like to do that road.
But yeah, so like Núñez is okay. He's not a regular starter, but he's definitely a first-team player. Like their back line was Walker, Gvardiol, Lewis, and that Simpson pussy. But Gvardiol played at centre back for years before he became a left back, so he's perfectly comfortable there. Walker is getting on a bit, but he's still capable.
Still probably the best right back in the league anyway.
Rico Lewis, again, comfortable playing at full back. And like you say, they had the Kanji and Aki on the bench, so it's not really shit enough to be like, oh, we need help. Or
you can't really call it an injury crisis because you've got the players there.
The rest of the team, Foden was playing, Holland was playing, Gundogan was playing, Kovacic was playing.
De Bruyne came off the bench.
Yeah, it's not a fucking weak team, you know. Yeah, like we say, Bernardo Silva was on the bench as well.
I think what's happening is that teams have stopped giving them too much respect. So like all the teams would just be sitting after them. Up until the Spurs game, that was the first game of this run, wasn't it? And Spurs were like, fuck it, it's the EFL Cup, let's go and have a good go at them. Yeah. And then like every other team since has been like, hold on a minute, Sporting absolutely destroyed them.
Was you that messaged me after? Was the Bournemouth game before Tottenham or after Tottenham?
After, that was the game immediately after.
Because no, it was after the Sporting game. You messaged me and said Bournemouth have clearly laid down the blueprint, or who?
No, Spurs laid the blueprint, and then everybody else has just followed it. So they just pressed them.
So Spurs, Bournemouth, Sporting, and now Brighton.
And like you've got to think like the two Premier League games have lost it. They've lost it. They've lost it. The two games the two games where they've been bested. In the Premier League, Bournemouth away and Brighton away. Yeah. So like we've talked about this fucking so many times where these are the games they don't lose. Yeah. And now they're starting to lose them. So like what's going to happen when they play Liverpool or Arsenal or Chelsea? They've got Spurs next week after the international break, Spurs in the league. And Spurs tend to do well against them in the league and cup. So it's interesting. It's quite good to watch them struggle as well. Yeah. First time they've lost 4 in a row since 2006.
It's the first time in Pep Guardiola's career he's lost 4 in a row.
Mental.
Which is, by the way, I know people don't like that he's always had money and all that kind of stuff to spend. But the fact that this is the first time in his managing career that he has lost 4 games in a row is fucking insane. That is mental.
That is wacky, isn't it?
And like people are like, he's never done it with a wee club because he started at Barcelona, created the best football team of all time. He's not then going to go and manage fucking Norwich, is he?
I know.
That's not what's going to happen. He's proved himself.
Give me the Blackburn Rovers job right now.
Under the Venkies, mate. Try and succeed in those circumstances. Yes, exactly.
Chicken guys.
Yeah, they are the chicken guys.
The chicken guys.
I mean, Rodri's obviously missing.
Yeah.
And
stats don't lie, mate.
Yeah, every time they lose, it's because he's not on the pitch. It's just mental to see how important he is. Obviously, is he 30 now?
Rodri?
Aye.
We've talked about this. Is he surprisingly young?
He's very hard to age. I can't remember if he's 30 now or if he's 30 on my current game of Football Manager.
Maybe he's just turning 30. He's actually 22.
He's 28. So,
28, so like he's surprisingly young because he's been about forever. I say the same could have been said for Busquets.
Yeah, that is true.
Similar player, but
he's still playing in Inter Miami, is he not? He's over there with Messi,
flip flops on,
Jordi Alba, and all that. Yeah.
Suarez.
So yeah, obviously, like he's just making such a huge difference. He's been injured before and come back just as good, so I don't think
he might miss the rest of the season. So
well, supposedly, yeah, he is going to be out for the rest of the season. So his first game back for Man City might be in the Championship.
We'll find out in January, man.
No, unfortunately, we won't because there'll be a whole bunch of there'll be the appeals and all that kind of stuff afterwards. It's
come on, Pedro, just be an optimist.
No, because we literally went through and explained this I literally went through and explained this in a podcast how it wouldn't happen in that time, unfortunately. But do you think it's with City? It's not just the fact that Rodri isn't on, but De Bruyne are not starting. Diaz isn't in the squad, so there's no real on-field general. you'd think with Gundogan that it would be, but obviously he went away for a year. There's no leader on the pitch that they can look at, and he'll set the example. He'll give you a bit up the arse, because Diaz would do that in the back line. He was a very, very young captain of Benfica before he moved here.
He's a massive. Him and Rodri.
Yeah,
that's the spine of their team.
Yeah,
like defensively, but like they got worse when De Bruyne came on. Like they conceded both goals after he came on.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into like how they played, because I do want to talk about that. But just before we go slating Man City too much, we do have to point out that Erling Haaland did score his 75th goal in 77 appearances.
Fair enough.
The fastest player to that ever, and I think by quite some margin.
Although you must be enjoying the memes. Ever since he told Arteta to stay humble, he's been.
I so hope Amorim said that to him. Like
I want to say he's been dog shit, but Man City have been absolute dog shit since then. Amazing.
I mean, he's an outstanding striker, but at the same time, don't be a knob. You know?
He's a bit. He's entering his villain phase, I think.
He is, man. Like
the
Van Hecke thing. Yeah.
Van Hecke.
He's just dragging him around.
To be fair, if you can pick up like a player where he's like jersey, he must be some unit.
It was a dickish thing to do.
It was funny though.
I can't believe he was surprised he got booked. Like, you're literally manhandled.
Although Van Hecke got booked as well, which is a bit unfair.
It was completely unfair. But it must have been terrifying for Van Hecke to look up and literally the Terminator's just dragging you with one hand. You're like, I mean, it's like he was dragging him around like a Martinez with a Mopai. Like, it was just like, you're nothing to me, son. That's a centre back as well. It's no fucking. He's just mental. Very talented, but he's kind of starting to show he's a little bit of a knob.
Yep.
And at the first half, City scored in the first half, didn't they?
Yep.
That's when they scored. And
Brighton loads of chances as
Brighton
well.
looked a little rattled. It looked like it was only going to go one way. But in the second half, they completely changed it around.
They brought on that centre mid, and that changed the game for them.
So they brought on Baleba, Matt O'Reilly, and João Pedro, and that completely changed it for them. Because there was a point when Brighton had a chance. This wasn't their goal, but they had a chance where the camera's out, and it's just before the ball gets played out to Pervis Estupiñán on the wing.
Yeah.
And all of City's players are within like a 30, apart from the goalie obviously, but are within about 30 yards of each other in the middle of the pitch.
Yep.
I think like they're almost both within the width of the centre circle.
Yeah.
And I think was it Husler or whatever the manager's name is, must have been spotting this during the game and gone, right guys, if you can get a ball over and out to the wide players, they're not going to be able to do anything about it because they're all right there. And they started to do that, and it started to work. They started
taking them apart.
Yeah, Matoma in particular really started stretching them. And as soon as they had to go out and start focusing on him, that's where the space appeared for people like Baleba and Matt O'Reilly to start doing their stuff. And João Pedro would drop deep and also try and make up an extra man in there. And they just looked really good. City played like most teams play against City.
When they started sitting in.
Just sitting in, defending. You're like, what's going on here? You know, like it was incredible.
I think because of the run of form they're on as well, they're like, we're 1-0 up here, let's just get the 3 points and up the road.
Yeah, it was very much Arsenal at Tottenham kind of performance. But yeah, Baleba came off the bench, and I'm guessing that's how you pronounce that name. I think they said Baleba on Match of the Day.
They did say Baleba.
I don't know if that was just so Alan could make his wee joke. And he was just in their face. He's very much like a Caicedo or Basuma used to do for them.
Just running a bit, like hitting people.
But he would also then start attacks, which is like obviously really important. And that's something that Caicedo did used to do for them.
João Pedro's goal was very much a primary school goal in terms of like the ball was just banging about the box and people are just swinging legs at it.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to be in the right place to take advantage of that, I suppose. So, I mean, he had a real chance before that, though. He's one-on-one with the keeper, and it almost goes out for a throw-in. I know he's not match sharp. He's only just back from injury, but yeah, I mean, that was a really bad.
And then our boy O'Reilly.
I know. I'm
proving
so
he's
happy
worth.
for him. Ederson made some saves before that, but Pedro gets the chance, and then the play for O'Reilly's goal was really, really good. Really smart passing. just in front of the box, and then the touch and finish from him was super
touched
composed.
it right and then just slotted it past the keeper.
I mean, that must be such a relief to Brighton fans. You know, they spent best part of 30 million on him.
Aye.
See him for 20 minutes in a League Cup game. He gets injured, and they're like, "Oh fuck."
It'll be interesting to see how he gets on now the next 6-7
if he
games.
plays like that, man, like you'll be absolutely fine, because it's that sort of late running from the box that we've seen with a lot of teams in the Premier League this season. That's so effective because a lot of teams just don't track runners from the midfield, and that'll be catnip to him. Like if you're not gonna track his run, he will score goals, because he's got the quality to do it. So I'm really excited to see him in the Premier League. Obviously, I was gutted when he left Celtic, but it's always nice to see a player who does choose to leave do really well.
Aye.
Like, and he just seems like a really good guy as well. So I hope he succeeds down there. I'm not sure what success looks like for Brighton, but I mean,
Europa League.
Yeah, I'd say that. I mean, they're only 1 point off of. I mean, there's about 5 teams that are only 1 point off of fourth at the moment. But like it's insane that they could be in with a shout of Europa League, Conference League. I don't think they've got the squad for Champions League. I think that's going to be Arsenal and Chelsea and Liverpool and City.
Yeah.
Whatever order that, I don't know, but I think that's going to be the top 4, and then there's a bunch of teams that could go for the rest of them. Newcastle were in there. Forest will fall away,
Aston Villa.
But we'll get to that later. Aston Villa, obviously, aye. Although they seem to be entirely focused on the Champions League.
I know. They went all in.
Imagine they finished like 14th but won the Champions League.
I would rate that.
I'd love it, mate.
We've got resting players against Arsenal.
You've just got Unai Emery wearing a t-shirt that says Europa League manager ? But,
Speaking of, we jump onto Villa Liverpool then.
I do want to just say, should Man City be worried about this, or is it too early in the season?
Oh no, they should be. They should be well worried. Aye, because Liverpool, defensively, have been amazing.
Yeah,
they're scoring goals. They're playing well enough as well.
But
only points they've dropped are a draw against Arsenal away and that loss against Nottingham Forest at home, yeah. Which doesn't look that bad considering
how well Forest
are their league position there.
But saying that, City after January just
start winning,
lose. Yeah, so
don't know though. With Rodri out for the rest of the season.
And then Haaland might give himself a 9-match ban or something like that if he keeps the way he's behaving. Honestly.
They're going to have to go and spend money on cloning a 25-year-old Busquets.
I'm trying to think. I mean, João Neves would be the person I'd think would be fit to replace him, but I don't know if he moved during the summer. He's at Benfica.
Aye.
By the way, whoever running Benfica's academy,
well done.
Fucking great job, because they've already got a Diaz clone there and Antonio Silva.
Aye.
How are you doing this? Do you want to come work for Celtic or Arsenal, please? Liverpool versus Aston Villa, like you said. Liverpool do look like they could be the real deal, man.
Aye, because of the balance they've got now. They're not just pure slinging the fullbacks forward and try to smash teams.
Aye.
They're attacking when they need to attack and then sitting back when they need to sit back.
Yeah, because they did that against Chelsea. They let Chelsea have the ball and then they just hit them on the counter.
Aye.
And they did that again at the weekend there against Villa. And what I'd say is obviously they did have quite an easy start to the season, but they've played some of the big boys now and they still look really, really good. I mean, Villa are no mugs. They're obviously they finished in the top 4 last season, and I do think Villa probably deserve something out of the game, but we'll get into that a bit more.
They had a lot of pressure, a lot of corners.
I mean, they're definitely in the title race, and right now, could you argue with them being favourites for it?
Liverpool?
Aye.
I think they're definitely the favourites.
Brilliant counter-attack for the first goal.
Mate, for every corner, because like I said, Villa got a few corners, but for every corner they just put Wandy Carroll, Salah, and was it Diaz, and they just went to the edge of the box, and they were as soon as the ball gets whipped in, just start running, don't look back. So they leave one back and just start running, and it, even for the 50-50s, and both, there was the one for the goal and then the one Salah's goal as well, because both of them were counter attacks.
Yeah.
Don't even look back, just keep running until you get to the halfway line. That's the only time you look across, and they pure opened them up with it. Pure simple tactic. It was beautiful.
It was almost at a point where
I think they were intentionally getting away corners.
Yeah, exactly. If I was Aston Villa, just start taking short ones and keep the ball, mate. Like, because this is not working out for you. It was a good finish from Juan de Caro, which is unlike him. I was half expecting him to sky that over the bar.
Although, like, it was a weird one because Salah got brought down last man.
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
Need to talk about this.
So, like, it was a weird tune where, like, it was probably a disadvantage. Well, I don't know.
But the referee does that.
Oh, does he?
Says no foul.
Oh, really?
So
it looked like a definite red card. It looked like a clatter through the back.
This is what I
think it was Leon Bailey.
So if that's not, if the referees indicate it's not a foul,
yeah,
the VAR are looking at it. Obviously, you still allowed the goal, but if the VAR are looking at it, going, by the way, that is a foul and he should be sent off. Can they then say that if the play's been allowed to continue?
No, I think if it's a goal, it's only if it's not a goal you wouldn't go back. Do you know what I mean?
But that's insane. He's committed a red card offence. Like,
I know, but like if played it on, yeah.
But I don't know how the referee doesn't think that's a foul in the first place.
I know, but I think it's the right thing to do to play it on when you've got
play
VAR.
on, yeah. But play on's that.
Like, I think pre-VAR,
that.
it would have probably been like, that's a red card straight away.
Aye, but the referee didn't think it was a red card.
I know, but
he didn't
like,
think it was a foul.
But he's got VAR, like, so his mindset is completely different.
Oh yeah, so it doesn't matter. I mean?
Yeah. Aye. So he's like, I'll just wave this on and then we'll see.
But it was very unlike Nunez to put it away.
Aye, because then he went on to miss Hunter's a clear cut chances.
Yeah, like it was wild. His goals, his XG must be like so abysmally low.
Yep.
Because it's like every 100 shots you'll take, he might score 2 goals. Like it's just wild.
I still like him as a player. I think
he must be an absolute pain in the arse to play against.
Aye.
Because he's so quick, he gets in your face.
Massive.
It's like that. Like, I know that it might sound like stereotype or cliche, but he is a proper Uruguayan forward. I'm going to annoy the shit out of you.
Bite you maybe.
To my knowledge, he hasn't bit anyone, but
yet.
I mean, he's probably bitten someone, just not on the football pitch, maybe. But have you bitten someone? Write in, let us know. When's the last time you bit someone? When I was a baby, my sister bit me, so my mum bit her. Just a wee fact.
What? That's class.
Don't know if she'd want that story. She's told people it's fine. I'm
going to bite your mom for biting your sister for biting you.
And
then you're going to bite me, and then it's going to start again.
Oh no! Probably like you probably get someone like Dean biting you.
Aye. Dean's definitely a biter, man.
Aye. What? That's going to be the name of the episode. Dean's definitely a biter.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Not long after that, Villa go on the counter attack as well, and then Watkins goes flying. Right, so
there's no need to do that in this day and age.
But Liverpool get the free kick, right?
Yeah.
So presumably,
it's a dive.
It's a dive.
So it's a yellow card.
So why didn't it get yellow card?
I don't know.
Unless the referee has somehow construed that as Watkins is fouled.
Yeah, they kind of ran into each other a wee bit. So,
but it's neither player fouled anybody.
Nah, it's not a penalty, but it's no.
If either player had fouled, it would have been Kanate. It wouldn't have been Watkins. So I really don't understand that decision at all.
It wasn't like a proper dive because there was a bit of contact, but like
the
way he launched himself,
it was proper. It was embarrassing.
It was.
Behave yourself, Ollie. I've turned a corner on you and said you were all right now, but no need.
I'm going to reverse back in that corner.
I'll drive this car home. I'll turn it around.
Turn it around.
Yeah, so I don't get why a foul was given at all in the first place, because the keeper's got the ball. Just play on.
Aye.
If you're not going to book Watkins, just play on. Referees, man. Villa weren't playing badly. At all. It's just that every time Liverpool countered, they looked like they'd score.
Aye. They just kept getting 3-1s, man.
I know, because their players are so fucking fast. A lot of that was self-inflicted by some of the defending from Aston Villa. Like Carlos made a big mistake for the second goal. When he tried to head it and Salah. Was that the first goal or was it the second
goal? Where he headed it straight at Salah and Salah just headed it straight past him. And Salah's going at full speed as well. Like, so there was no catching him.
I mean, the pace on those boys going forward is just
even Salah at what 32.
Yeah,
still got it.
So he'll be absolutely tanking past people in the Saudi League next year.
Yeah.
Although Villa were raining chances in on Liverpool late in the second half. Keller made a couple of good saves.
Yeah.
There's a couple of blocks in. Start of the second half, Rodgers had a really good chance for Villa as well. I don't know how he didn't put that away, but he's a young lad. He'll maybe learn from it. Liverpool's defence did look shaky.
Yeah.
Despite it being like they've had a really, really strong defence all season, but they did look a bit weak at the weekend. But here now we get to the big talking points. Should Villa have had a penalty for the shirt pull on Pau Torres? I mean, that's the incorrect answer. The answer is obviously yes.
I don't know.
He's yanked him to the ground by his
like
shirt.
The ball doesn't go near him.
It doesn't fucking matter. And also, maybe he would get near the ball, but he can't because he's just been pulled to the ground.
Maybe I don't know. Like it's cause they've moved the goalposts and VAR. Then you can't. There's no argument. Like because last season that would have been a penalty all the time.
Aye.
And they've changed it at the start of the season where they're like, oh, we're just going to wait for the clear and obvious ones. But then they still use it exactly the same, but then use that excuse and go, it wasn't clear and obvious enough for it.
But I can't see how that isn't a clear and obvious mistake. I think basically every pundit that's watched it has gone, yeah,
it must take a lot to deck Pau Torres as well.
I know.
He's an absolute
still a wee guy. I mean, they could arguably have had a second penalty in the build-up to Salah's goal. Because Pau Torres' foot gets stamped on as well in the box, and it was that counter-attack that they scored from. So if I was Emery, I would be having a very bad evening. I would not be happy at all.
I love the evening part.
I do. It's great. Good evening. He's such a polite man. Every interview, he's always good evening.
Good evening.
I love him.
9 a.m. Good evening.
And we Mr. Deeds Butler guy. Villa were good, but it just wasn't to be for them. Like when you get things like decisions like that go against you, and you're up against a team that can counter that good, I don't think it will piss them off too much. Like they'll feel like, oh, we played well, and we could have got a result from that game. So I know they're not in the best form, but I don't think they'll be panicking at any.
Plus,
point,
like
really.
the last two games, I know Spurs are fucking shite, but like Spurs away and Anfield, like you're not going to expect it. Like a point out of the 2 games would be a good result.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they've fell short.
They've only won one in their last 5 though, which is obviously not good. But they've played some really good teams in that time, like you said. So honestly, I don't think Villa will be too worried about it. Right, time to get on to your boys.
Yes, man.
We can actually talk about them winning.
Let's say 7 minutes in Newcastle United. Let's go. They were also won the Fulshire Derby last week. Get up, you.
Yeah, they did.
Specky reject. Oh, I nearly said something way worse than that. I
know exactly what you were going to say.
Nearly said something way worse than that. No, that's all right. I'll go with Specky reject.
Comment what you think he was going to write if you weren't blocked on fucking YouTube.
Aye, what a result considering Forest, who were 3rd in the league.
Yeah, they were doing really well
before that game.
I thought it was a bit shite of Match of the Day though to do a montage before the Newcastle Forest game, where they've got all these Forest fans talking about how well they're doing and how they could potentially aim for Europe in the next couple of seasons. They put that on knowing that they had lost 3-1 that day.
I know, aye.
It's just like the pit and bullseye when they bring out the speedboat and the cunts haven't won it.
Aye. That was quite rough, wasn't it?
But, I mean, Forest started really well.
Aye. Mate, the atmosphere at that stadium's class as well. You could hear it. And gone 1-0 down to them there once they get on top. It's pretty rough. But Pope made a couple of decent saves. And then turned it around with a big Uncle Joe.
It's his business, mate. Pope saving.
Pope saves.
But in the early first half, they just looked like they had more energy. They were first every 50-50. Every second ball they got there first. They were pressing, they were moving. They just looked like the only team in the game.
Aye.
And then second half, Newcastle played like old Eddie Howe, like when he first took over Newcastle.
Aye.
Because they were doing the press and the counter-attacks were just rapid and precise, and that's what really turned the game around for Newcastle. It was a second half. It looked like a completely different team.
I know, it was wild.
Aye.
And like it was one of those rare times where Newcastle play well and win.
Aye, yeah, that's
Usually
true.
play shite and win, play well and lose.
Aye, your Uncle Joe, what finished that one?
That was a screamer.
It was good work that from start to finish in that though, because like Bruno and Tonali, like breaking up the play, getting the counter attack started, and then Livramento does a very unselfish thing of making the run down the side, drags defenders away, and that creates the space for old Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe to do it again.
I mean, as you say again, it was his first goal since the first day of the season, so
I know.
Technically,
although
twice
he is
says
playing
again.
centre mid these days, game up wreck.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, he's been there for a while, to be fair.
Aye.
But I mean, if they can get more goals out of him, that would be really, really handy.
He needs to chip in.
Take some of the pressure off Isak.
Isak's get too much on his shoulders. Plus, I don't understand why Barnes doesn't start games, man.
That is one of the questions I was going to ask you.
Because like keep starting Willock, and Willock he gave away the free kick for the first goal, and he kept like losing possession. You're like,
well, Willock's not a winger as well. He's a centre mid or an attacking midfielder.
he's just such a mid player.
Aye,
Do you know what I mean?
but I think it's possibly what
He's
he gives
running.
you. Aye, but I mean, Barnes to me should be starting in that team. Him and Gordon's a proper good wing partnership with Isak through the middle. And they can all score goals as well. So and they can all swap over. Isak can go out wide comfortably. So that would be just such a pain in the arse to deal with if you're a defender. Try to handle that.
Good run for Newcastle.
It is, yeah.
6 points at the last two.
Which is you can't really argue with that. I mean, the 2 games before it they did lose.
I know. It's just
It's a
pure
recovery.
inconsistent. The exact same as Spurs. Like win big games and then lose pure daft games.
But they're 8th and they're only 1 point behind 3rd. So like,
Nah.
that's pretty good. Like as a Newcastle fan,
The international break's coming at the wrong time again.
right time for Arsenal, I'd say though.
Aye.
Man City will be
City.
thankful as well. Forest 5th.
Yep.
I think they're equal on points with Arsenal and Chelsea at the moment. I think they'll fall away. I can't see them keep this up.
Aye.
But if they can finish comfortably above the relegation zone, I think they'll be happy.
Considering last season.
Yeah. Should we just wrap that up there? Because I don't really care about Brentford Bournemouth. You had an amazing game, lads, honestly.
Some game.
Aye.
3-2.
And Visa is, how many goals has he got now? Something like 7 and 8.
Aye, he's a pure fantasy PL dream.
I know. I might need to go sign him.
The
Ipswich beat Spurs. Lol. That was funny.
That was funny.
Rory Delap looks like a really good player. Sammy
No,
Smoldic.
Liam Delap.
Liam Delap. Yeah.
Rory was his dad.
Rory's son, Liam.
Shied one right up his maw.
I'd love if that's how he did it. Smoldic got an overhead kick, which was more falling backwards and kicking the ball.
That
but
wasn't a
it's-
great overhead kick.
No, but they all count, mate. They all count.
Man U won.
They did, and unfortunately, that's all the time we've got.
Although, like, one thing I did notice just before we finish, about Man U, the Man U win, Ruud van Nistelrooy's wearing Ten Hag's clays. He's wearing, like, the turtleneck and blazer.
They
Like,
just left him.
but did he not bring his A clays?
I don't know. Maybe he's on the contract.
He's only got trackies.
He's on the contract, right? Now you're a manager, you have to wear these.
Aye.
Let's
You have,
see. Ruben will be doing the same. Tell you right now, Ruben will be doing
you
the
have to look like you smell like dupe.
You have to look like you know your way around a cheese. Like.
Aye. Fantastic.
I was going to say, actually, we're not going to talk about it, but Bournemouth Brentford. But Iraola looks like a fun substitute geography teacher.
He does, actually.
He's got big, like, you could distract him very easily.
Aye.
Start the lesson, just ask him about Catenaccio, and he'll be like, oh, well, I'll tell you. An hour later.
Aye, like, bell goes like, we're out of here.
Oh, we best wrap up there.
Yep.
So, yes, thanks for seeing us.
Seen us.
Mate, our brains are fucking fried today. I don't know why.
It's a Monday.
Yeah, it is a Monday. We don't normally do this on a Monday, so, you know. Fuck yous. Anyways, goodbye from Daddy.
Goodbye, and don't fuck yous.
It's goodbye from my people. Stay fresh, cheese bags.